Hello, my name is Farhad Javidi. I'm with Persian Awards جوایز ایرانی with Miss Daisy Wei. Miss Wei, thank you so much for accepting our invitation. Would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
First of all, thank you for having me. I'll be gladly happy to tell you about myself. I am the MPP in Ontario. I started off in 2018. In fact, way before that, I would like to tell you more about myself, way before I become a Canadian. In fact, I immigrated to Canada with my husband, Albert, and my 2-year-old daughter, Ada. That was now 40 years ago.
Wow.
How time flies. And after that, I have 3 more children in Canada. So I have a total of 4 children. And now they're all married. I have 6 grandchildren, and 1 more is on the way. I run my own business. I have been running that for 25 years. In fact, I have 10 years of experience in Hong Kong. I've been working in advertising, public relations, publications. I work with international agencies like Ogilvy and Mather and Burson Stella. So I know enough about marketing. When I come over here, I still work another 10 years in the same field in public relations, marketing, and advertising. And after that, I started my own business in the same field for 25 years in advertising marketing. So in a sense that I have been doing this marketing, advertising business for 45 years of my time. So I am much a senior right now, but it's good that I'm a senior because I'm now working as an MPP, which is member of provincial parliament, that is in Ontario. That is, I'm taking care of the riding in where I live is called Richmond Hill. And then I am also selected to become the parliamentary assistant for a ministry. I am assisting minister in senior and accessibility. So being a senior myself, working on different kind of programs and decisions made for the seniors in Ontario, it is important, and I am thankful that I'm given that position. So right now, I am the MPP in Richmond Hill, supporting and running a lot of programs for the seniors in Ontario.
I tell you, when I was reading your resume, Ms. Wei, I was so impressed, and I'm so honored to be here tonight and seeing how comfortable you are in this interview. I know now that it is all your background in PR. You have been doing it for years. How did you get interested to do MPP? And could you tell us a little bit, I'm sure when you say what made your interest to do this, you tell us more about what does MPP mean and what do you do in everyday job?
Sure. MPP is member of provincial parliament. It is something that you represent the area that you live in, which is Richmond Hill in my case. We call that as a riding. I am representing the people there, and I will be their voice, and I will speak up at Queen's Park in Ontario. I would express their opinion, and we will be doing a lot of, we are introducing a lot of bills that will affect the people's life, day-to-day life. It is important, but I also find out that, as I told you, I've been in advertising for 45 years, and I understand marketing, but for me to be an MPP is like a new job that I have to be in. But I guess with the background that I have, I am able to really fit in and understand how to be a voice for the people in my riding so that we can come up with good bills that will affect their lives. And in fact, I have to add is, I've been running my business for 25 years, but I was supported by the Ontario government in what they call the Self-Employment Assistance Program. This program is run federally, not just in Ontario. So federally, they have started this program, and I am selected as one of the person that they support. And I started my business, and they have helped me. And because of that, I've always been involved myself in supporting what is in the community, because I feel that the federal government has done all these for me. It's my turn to really pay back and support and do whatever I can in my community. I get involved. I just do that out of something that I really feel that this is important for me to contribute back. But I didn't realize I get a lot from it, and it does help my business as well. And not only that, but because I contributed a lot, I was invited by different organizations. Some of them are government organizations, some of them are services that they have been doing, serving the people in the community. I was invited to be the board of directors. Sitting on the boards in all these different community functions, I learned a lot from it.
Mm-hmm.
It is more than just going to a university to learn about different kind of things, but I don't have to pay for the tuition fee. So I am really thankful that I've done that. And because I have involved in that, it makes my job now very easy, because I learn a lot from those encounters and those meetings, and the way to handle people, to treat people. It's like the tuition that I learned from there. And because of that, I get more and more involved into the day-to-day function of being an Ontarian. How to make things different in order to benefit the community. I was concerned with how the education was run at that time. My children were all grown up, and I have grandchildren. Because of the grandchildren, I can see that whatever education that they're receiving now, it will affect their life. Because, say, for example, they were teaching the students at the time of discovery math. Math is not for discovery. You memorize your timetable, 2 times 2 is 4. You cannot discover, you cannot create something. You know, it is something that everybody understand and agree, and we use that as a foundation to communicate and do work afterwards. You cannot just, a few people sit together and say, how can we do something in math? That doesn't make sense. And I can see a whole generation, because they're not having a solid foundation in math. Even now, when they are in the marketplace doing in their own career, they will have a tough time, because people are not just working together in Ontario; they're working together globally. If people in the globe, they're doing things differently, and you don't even have a clue, you'll be left out. So there are a lot of things that I see that when we speak up, we can make the change. And I am fortunate that when I put myself forward, I get elected and become the MPP. And I participated in the change. But before I make that change, the party that I get involved into, they share my same vision. So we are already in progress into what we call STEM. We focus in science, we focus in technology, we focus in engineering, we focus in math. So this is very good for the future generation. This is what I mean, and this is something that drives me to get involved, and I am thankful that I'm selected.
I noticed that you mentioned a few of characteristics for such a job, like having an opinion before anything else, you know, being observant, having an opinion, want to make the change, caring enough to make that change, and taking responsibility. Some people who just look from outside for jobs like that, they don't realize how much responsibility the one who is taking this job is doing. When you mentioned about the board, being a member of the board, many people don't realize, they see the glamour of somebody being on the board, but they don't realize the member of the board has taken responsibility for the organization, and they put even their own financial life, online for the organization, that if organization like goes bankrupt, they have to step in and help the organization to get out of that bankruptcy.
So, yes.
I mean, it's very, very important that it shows that you were a responsible kid when you were growing up. Is that correct?
Yes, I have to be very responsible, but this is, I guess I learned it from my parents, but I think this is all very fulfilling. And I just want to touch back on this, what you mentioned about being an MPP. Yes, I have to express my opinion, but to be honest, I have to respect the people in my riding.
Right.
And I am really their voice, and I'm really their representative. So in other words, I will always go around and understand and know what are their concerns. So it will not be just what I want, but I'm representing them. But of course, I will have to put in my personal vision and opinion on things. And they trust me. That's why they selected me. I would also use my own evaluation and decision, but I always gather what they think and what are their concerns. I will definitely express their concerns, whether I agree or not agree, but then it will be the whole government together to decide on something. So as my job is, when they decide on something, if I find that they go really very far away from what the people want, I will voice it out and I'll make sure they realize it. And which is why in the chamber, in the house, we always have different kind of sharing opinions. There are thick binders that we have to read all what we call the bills. Within the bills, there are different kind of areas that different people express, and then I have to understand them to see if I agree or not agree, or how to word it to make sure that it makes sense and is really representing what my people want. So that part of it is very time consuming. And I also have to say is the most difficult part is I feel that it's working within the chamber when sometimes, let's say we have opposition parties. The opposition party is supposed to be there to remind us of things that, oh yes, you have covered this, but you have overlooked this. Can we also see in this aspect? But unfortunately, in most of the times, yes.
No, and to represent people as all, you cannot just stick with your own party, and you need to be bipartisan and represent all of
exactly.
The people.
I love that, but I do not like it when they, let's say if we say this is white, but then I show them why this is white, why white is good, then all of a sudden they turn everything and say, you show us something that is black, but we did not. And everything changed, and it's not really representing the truth. So and that's the sad part.
What does help you to focus, even though there are so much distractions in there, and I believe what you said, which was well said, you wanted to be the voice of people you are representing. And to do that, it seems that you listen too much, right?
No, we listen, and it's no problem. It's our job to listen. But what I'm saying is, if they try to tell us that this is not the right thing. And in fact, we did not say that. And anyway, the contents is wrong. Then it's frustrating, but it will still not affect us from doing our job right, because we have a chance to vote on what we think is the right thing. And I always represent my people and vote on what I see is right.
Is this very stressful, your job? I mean, it seems that you have to deal with so many things. Is it stressful, or do you have some fun too?
It is a lot of work, but it's very fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
I find it so fulfilling and valuable. I find that there are times that I can listen to somebody and I can share the joy. And there are times that I can listen to somebody, I share the pain,
Mm-hmm.
I share their trouble, I will voice out their concerns. But realistically, even if I voice out the concerns, it does not mean that I can every time make changes,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not the only voice out there.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many, like there are 120 MPPs, each one have their voice, and the majority of the voice, that decision made is what that counts.
Mm-hmm.
So we go by that, but in general, I really find it very rewarding because I am very thankful for what the government is doing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought before I joined inside as a politician, I thought, oh, well, it is an easygoing job. I see a lot of politicians coming out to events. They enjoy having good time with the people, with the friends, or with representatives, their supporters, volunteers, or even whoever that are out there being friends, right? But there are a lot of work. As I say, I have to study that kind of binder in order to understand what decision to make, and that's the key. I have to listen to the people in my writing because they share their opinion, or sometimes if they have a problem, I try to represent them to go to different ministries, voice it out and make way for them. It is a lot of work,
Mm-hmm.
but it is so fulfilling and rewarding. I have to admit, I've been all along 45 years, I've been doing advertising marketing. It is a very fast-paced job. It has schedules like media. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
everything is bang, bang, bang. There is a deadline you have to meet. But I've never been so busy in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I have been so busy, but I find it very rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
Especially there are so many decisions that we have made is going to make, honestly, make Ontario a different province down the road. It will be a successful province. We will be the engine of Canada again. So I know that you're from Vancouver, but watch out, we're going to march through very quickly.
So how often do you have to run for re-election? How often?
4 years.
4
We're
years.
having our re-election coming up in next June on the 2nd.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool. Ms. Wei, you mentioned about science, right? I mean, and we all know importance of the science. How important are culture and arts in the society, in your opinion?
Culture and art is very important in the society, and we respect the different culture and art in the society. We respect the different culture, especially in Ontario. We have so many of people that form Ontario, they are immigrants. A lot of them, whether in whichever stage they are at, some of them just arrived in Canada, but a lot of them are immigrants even in their great-grandfather's time. So a lot of people experience immigration, and we are of different culture. It can be Italian, it can be Russian, it can be Chinese, it can be Iranian, it can be Korean, any nationality. And we are proud of our diversity. Diversity is one of the most important things. I am very thankful. And even, let's say, even before I become an MPP, I've joined organizations like how to be inclusive, how to include the different culture. I joined organization. I was also the board of director in the York Region Art Council. And we have been treasuring all the arts in various forms. Long as they are really talented people, it doesn't matter what culture it is. Art has no boundaries in a sense, and people can appreciate different culture. And as a Chinese myself, I have also brought forward what the Chinese culture of art is. We have calligraphy, we have paintings, we have dancing, we have a different kind of singing, whether it is a special opera singing or just the ordinary singing in the different dialects. So yeah, people enjoy and share and respond to that as well.
So as politicians, how could we help these organizations that they work for culture, for promoting their cultures or promoting their arts? How could you help them?
I think we all see each other's culture, we respect each other's culture. We do not go out of the way to pick one culture or one art over the others. So I would say that the different organizations, the different culture, they should be proud of who they are, how they are, their culture. They will be ready to put it forward to us to share that. And as a politician, we always should really appreciate and we share, and we encourage people to share that, and we be part of the one enjoying what they present. As I was just saying, I had involved in the York Region Art Council. We have selected the different artists and give them funding so that they can continue with what they are working on. I've selected different kind of art, whether that is singing in Spanish or whether that is drawing different kind of painting, like the Chinese have watercolor painting. They did really good job. Or somebody had a different way of presenting the art. We have a team of people selecting the art and giving them the funding. So as a politician, we will be there to promote art and different kind of art. Say
so
for
if you are a community organization which is in Richmond Hill, and we are looking for fund, we can come to you and talk to you and ask for possibilities to support us.
Not necessarily.
So how does that work?
Necessarily. I can use a good example. Like I'm in with a Chinese community.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the Chinese New Year, the second largest festival that we celebrate is called the Moon Festival. During Moon Festival, we have different kind of art, and we can also prepare different kind of bakery called the moon cake. We have different kind of dancing. So, and that day is a day for the family coming together, reunited, and encourage each other and have a good time together and enjoy and have fun. Mm-hmm. So what I do is honestly, there are a lot of new Chinese immigrants. I have been immigrated here for 40 years, but I still know when I first come to Canada, I always think about the things that I used to be celebrating back home. And there are even some people, when I immigrate here, all my family members, my mother and my brother and sisters, they're all here. So I will not feel as homesick. And I also immigrated with my husband and my daughter, so I do not feel homesick. But there are people that they just leave their loved ones, whether our parents or even wife or children or parents, leave them behind. And when it is festivities like this, they will be homesick. So what I did, I'm not a politician at the time, I'm just a community member. Understanding and knowing some people will be going through these kind of tough times. I started this event that is being held in Moon Festival in Richmond Hill. I go and talk to the city, the mayor support, the council support, and I organize the whole event. I cannot wait for any politician to organize something for us because I will know better than they can. Plus, they cannot just organize one and then the other will say, what about me?
Mhm.
But if you organize it and then you ask for your support, then they will respond with a support or not support. That is very different. And not only did I ask for funding? Yes, I did. But I did not ask, okay, you give me all this money so that I can do my event. I did not do that. I plan it out. What am I going to do? When is this going to happen? What is the program? What is the agenda? How do I get the people from the? It's a whole very clear proposal. I think it's easier for me to do that because of my background. I do advertising, marketing, and I do different kind of events. So while I'm doing this, I just do that as a contribution for my community. I do that. Plus, I also go out and get sponsors. And it so happened that the city of Richmond Hill is one of the sponsors. I have gone to banks. I have gone to the cake shop to sponsor me, and then all they have is they contribute, they do not contribute money. Give me the moon cakes, and I share those moon cakes with the community.
And your background in Chamber of Commerce helps you as well because you are working with so many businesses.
Some of them I go through the Chamber of Commerce, but a lot of them I just go to them. I don't have any direct interaction with TNT, but I go to them and say, this is a very good event. They get promoted. Like I will give them exposure through media or through other things that they get the value back for what I'm doing for them. So what they did for TNT, they contribute fruits, they contribute drinks, they contribute apples and oranges. Those are products. I'm not asking for money. I'm asking for products. And those products, they see it very clearly. I did not keep it for myself. I give it away. And say, for example, just this year just passed, I have it from a company that produce a lot of food products. They are called Thai Foods, and they contribute like the Danish cookies, and they contribute different kind of food that I can contribute it back out. Some people contribute money as well, and some people contribute venue for me to host the event. So these kind of things, I will be responsible to go out and get the people to support. But I don't just do it myself. I get a group of people that are like-minded. We work together. We do something meaningful together for the group. And and then the city, when they look at my plan and proposal, they find it worthwhile and they're ready to come appoint as the lantern sponsor. They give me a little bit of money and I'm going to go and buy lanterns, and lanterns are for giving it to the children and for decoration. And then at the event time, they come as well, they hold the lanterns and celebrate it with the community. So it gives a chance for the Chinese community to understand and know who is the mayor, who is the councillor, what is Richmond Hill good for. And they also tell the mayor who they are, and there are different kind of communication. So it is just the way it was set up. And yes, the politicians get involved, but it's a community thing. It should not be just one party doing one thing. That's how I see it.
And how do you see the importance of local media, Ms. Wei?
Oh, local media is very important. I myself is very strong with the Chinese media. I will make sure that, let's say with whatever a government is doing, I make sure I translate that into press releases I'll send it to them so that they know what we're doing. And I sometimes, when it is an important event, I'll make sure I invite them. Say, for example, I'm in a senior ministry, and right now we are funding and supporting a senior organization to do a campus of care for the seniors in Richmond Hill. So I gather them, because it's a Chinese organization doing it, I gather the Chinese media to come and understand it and report about this. So yes, we do have a role to play, but I would not just confine it with a different, let's say if I'm Chinese, I do not just confine it with Chinese. We also send it out to local mainstream media as well. But if that is an event that is more for the Iranian, we'll make sure we get the Iranian media coming out. The thing is, we have to know the different ethnic media. I may be very thorough with the Chinese media, but I may not be very strong with the Russian media or the Iranian media. We have a division within the government that is handling the media communications. We will go to them and ask them to help and invite the different cultural media groups. And yes, we have been, I have to give credit to my government that they really care about the ethnic media. So if there is something, that's right, give me all the information about who are the Iranian media. I'll make sure that I have information that I'll send it to you. There are two things that I will be sending it to the media that I know well. One is for something important from the Ontario government, we will send it to them just so that they can report. It's like news. But there are some things that is more important culturally and affect their own culture, then we will make sure we send it to that specific culture. And that is important. Yes, they do play a very important role. And I know our government really treasure them. We have been doing different kind of translation and sending it out to the relevant different cultural media.
At Persian Awards, جوایز پارسی, we try to celebrate and promote the accomplishments of individuals and groups. Do you see any importance in groups like that?
Oh, yes. Go for it. Do as many as you can. Say, for example, again, like as a Chinese, I know enough about the Chinese media, and that's what I can share. We have different awards that we have been doing it. I belong to an association called the ACCE, which is the Association of Chinese Canadian Entrepreneurs. So I was running my business, so I am into that group. In fact, I was the award winner in 2000 and I forgot exactly, maybe 2003. It's a long time. Anyway, yes, it is important. And we also, when you run awards like this, you make sure you get your banks involved, that they will be somebody that will give out one of the award, and they can be a sponsor. They will contribute in sponsorship. That's how ACCE has been doing that and has been very successful. I think right now they're celebrating their, I don't know, 20th years or maybe more. I forgot exactly. But it's been very, very good. And say, for example, this is one of the associations that Stephen Harper came and visit and speak. Because they treasure this. This is a group that cultivate good entrepreneurs as well. And I sit on the board with the Chinese Business Association as well, not just with the chamber. For 25 years, I've been with them. And we also organize on our 10th anniversary. At that time, I was the president for them. I organized the Outstanding Business Award for them. and it was very well received as well. And just recently, they have organized something for the Women's Business Award. So what you're organizing for sure is important.
And I think it's really
and
good.
The politician participate for sure.
Yeah, and it's really good for the award winner to feel recognized and
Oh,
appreciated.
yes. Oh,
I noticed
yes.
in your resume, you have had so many awards, and just reading them, I was very happy that after all this hard work that you have done, someone has recognized you, someone has appreciated you and given you at least the recognition you deserved.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I did not go after the awards when I was doing all those work. And these come by and it just, wow, that's nice. But my focus is really just to contribute. I think that gives me the reward that I deserve already. I feel it's so fulfilling in my life. I feel the awards and the reward just from there. But yes, we will be participating in that. So what you're doing, the Persian Award, go for it. And don't just go for the culture and the art, but go into something that penetrate right into the Canadian, the fabric in the Canadian. The way that I'm seeing it, like when I first was an immigrant, I say was because I'm not an immigrant now. I see myself very Canadian. And I guess this is the reason that make you happy, because we are all Canadian. Whether it's a different level or number of years you are in Canada. I guess in my case, because my parents are here, my brother and sisters are here, I'm the last one here. So I don't feel that homesick as much. And B is my cousin was the one that helped me in preparing all my documents before I come over to Canada. I was doing pretty good in Hong Kong. I was in good career and I was in the managerial level. For me, and I started my family, for me to leave behind all these and come to start everything brand new is not easy. And he asked me, are you sure you want to come? I think it's that decision that will make the difference. It's not after you came, it's before you come. You have to make that very clear decision. You want to be here. This is something that you choose. Nobody push you into it. And if you choose to become a Canadian, become a Canadian. And in Chinese, he gave me that Chinese verse. There is a historic case that is somebody in the war, that in the olden days in the Chinese, there is a Chinese war with different warlords. And when they go to fight this war, they destroy the weapon that helps them to do the cooking, and they destroy the boat that they can return, which means that they cut everything off. This is it. I go full force and fight for that battle. If I don't do well, I'm not returning. So it is that kind of decision that he made me to go through. And I did go through that. I'm not looking back. I'm not looking back comparing, oh, if I am this, I would have this. This is my choice. Nobody made me. Then I'm already the last one who came. So if I make that decision, I'll just do my best for it. And I guess that make the biggest difference for me.
And of course, for some is a little different. Some were pushed to come, or they have lost their country they are coming from, and they have no way of return. I want to thank you and the government who welcomes them to their country. And as the new Canadians, they get all the opportunity in front of them with your support to be who they want to be and build a new life. That's very important too.
Let me just say something. I had a lot of care and concern about the Iranian community. I may not fully understand well, but I know that a lot of them come here after a lot of tough times that they experienced back in their hometown. I have gone to a vigil that a lot of them lost their loved ones and they were killed, and they have to come over here to start a new life, trying to escape. And that, I understand it's very sad.
And Persian Awards, I just wanted to mention that Persian Awards, Jawaiz Parsi, is an international organization that we are trying to actually be present in many countries. And we try to expand our boundaries, you know, to recognize talents and accomplishments of every individual and groups in the world. And Miss Daisy, why could you or would you like to add anything else that you think we have missed tonight talking about?
All I want to say is, please, just don't look back. Integrate into Canada. They will receive you when you become one of them. Just try to be one of them. And that's what I've done. And if I just hold on to, I'm still a Chinese, or I do not like how they treat me, but if I become one of them, we are just the same. And they treasure, I really feel that Canada is a good country. They appreciate the different cultures, the different art. I've gone through it myself. I just encourage anyone who are just recently coming to Canada, just be a Canadian. Enjoy being a Canadian. Be a Canadian and contribute and try to get as a volunteer into different kind of groups. Learn the way of doing things and be like one of them. And before you know it, you will be sitting on boards, you will be contributing, you'll be doing exactly what I'm doing. Not just out of ambition or trying to show yourself, but as a way to really, you enjoy it. It's fulfilling, it's rewarding.
Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. I usually end my interviews with an unrelated question. Are you ready for your unrelated question?
Okay, sure.
I mean, you don't need to know the answer. It's just for fun. It's just like asking a question that is not related to everything we had, that we have a good closing. We all believe in recycling, and many of us recycle. I'm sure you do. Do you know how long it takes for a plastic to dispose, to disintegrate?
I don't know. I never even think of it.
Like,
that's
how many years do you think it might take?
Sorry, how many what?
Years for plastic to dispose.
5?
50,000 years. 50,000 years. Isn't it amazing? And we are still producing plastic, and sometimes, you know, some people don't take recycling that serious. You know, I just thought, you know, it would be a good closing for our conversation. Thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation at Persian Awards, Jawaiz Parsi. And is there anything else you want to say before we say goodbye?
I just want to say, appreciate the time that I have here. I never even think that it's 50,000 years. We really have to do better.
We need to. Thank you again.
Thank you very much for the time for me.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.